Hi, Angelique here. Welcome back to another astrology video, and this is going to be on the topic of Sun in Capricorn and how we understand it. And if it's your first time here, I'm a holistic coach, but also an astrology teacher. So I look at astrology through the lens of mythology and the elements and bring that together with practical knowledge, advice. So, as a way for us to understand ourselves, not just for prediction. Astrology has gotten there, and I definitely use astrology in my own life for predictive tools, but it's also really rich for understanding ourselves because of the connection with the four elements of our universe, as well as mythology, which feeds into philosophy. And mythology is great because it was originally how we could understand human existence and ourselves. So that's just a little brief overview about how I come to astrology and how I help it to not only understand myself, but help other people understand themselves and maybe what's driving them. What are some shadows? What are some things that we might not know about, or strengths, anything. And it's a great tool. So, with that being said, we're going to do Sun in Capricorn. And this is a very interesting placement. I like to talk about it because there's a good amount of friction here when Sun is in the placement of Capricorn. And I'll talk a little bit about that more. But first, I like to get into the mythology because it's fun and it's good to know what the roots are about signs instead of just blanket statements like Capricorns are this, which is, I guess, fine for pop astrology. I almost said pop psychology, which that's a topic for another day, but I digress. So, Capricorn, the mythology here is very interesting because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which is a Roman god. And if you are familiar with Saturn at all or the festival Saturnalia, you might be familiar with how Saturn rewards, but usually because of time or effort. And that's because Saturn is known as the god of sowing and harvesting, which is great when we get to harvest a plant and we get to enjoy it and it provides sustenance. But there's a lot of work that goes into that. And that's why Saturn's also known as the god of time, is that the only way when you work with the god Saturn or the planet Saturn or this energy, the only really way to get that reward, which is going to be amazing and bountiful and plentiful, is time. Time and sowing, really putting that effort in. And Saturn is an energy with the God here of the earth. When we are toiling and putting in, planting seeds, we are giving the appropriate amount of time. That is when we see these rewards. So Saturn has almost like a father figure like quality in astrology that it might seem oppressive, it might seem cold to some people because we want something, we want it now. But when you, and I'm talking about this in the context of Saturn, if we personify him as that kind of father figure, is yeah, but if you just get what you want immediately, how will that create change in you? How will that create growth? How will you be able to get anything long lasting if you're handed everything and never have to work for it? So, in a natal chart, where Capricorn is, or the house that Capricorn is in a natal chart, will really show where there might be some delay. There might be a lot of time to get the reward or the fruits of wherever this is in the chart. And so when we think about the Sun in Capricorn, why it's interesting is that Saturn likes to be in control and likes to reward. And the sun too likes to reward. We can't grow anything on earth without the sun. places where the sun doesn't really shine is a really hard time to grow anything. So there's growth in both of these aspects. But the sun is a quicker, more fire energy, can be almost more impulsive. But Saturn rewards in a slower way, a more methodical way, more practicality is called for. So that's where that friction can come from, is that Sun in Capricorn, when someone has this placement in a natal chart, it can really uh, make it kind of uncomfortable or almost feel unlucky to some people. Like if you're going after a goal and you see other people getting to their goal, their similar goal quicker than you, this can be a difficult placement for that unless you kind of understand how to work with this. And so looking at the elements, because I love bringing it down to the four elements of our makeup, our universe. Capricorn, like I said, is an earth energy. So it's going to be stubborn. It's going to be slow to move. Anytime things are created or changed on earth, it's usually because it's been a long time. Mountains were not just created over time. That's a lot of shifting and moving of tectonic plates and the earth, which takes a long time. It won't just happen overnight. And when it does, like something like an earthquake, it's very disorienting and unnerving and disastrous. We don't want earth to shake things up quickly or impulsively. And so when we personify it in a natal chart, this is what we're talking about. So that Capricorn energy with the sun. So the sun, because it's big and bright and really likes to bring joy and happiness and abundance to people, when we have them together, sun and Capricorn, that abundance and joy that you can see in your life and in your personality comes from slow, methodical planning. So your personality might come off as more slow, slow to warm. It might come off as very practical, maybe even rigid, but you can use that to your benefit because this is where you shine. So a lot of people who have Sun in Capricorn really shine in any capacity that is a long-term plan, or where they need to be a leader, or where they need to help other people get to where they want to go. We can get lost with Capricorn in such a cold energy, but it is a nurturing quality too. The sister sign is Cancer, and Cancer is known as the archetypal mother. So when you have Capricorn as an archetypal father, fathers in archetype are nurturing as well. It's just in a different way. It's from external environments. So any Capricorn placements, especially Sun in Capricorn, that is the archetypal um, father masculine energy, but more outward. So when you have this placement, your personality might really shine the best when you are nurturing external things, goals, jobs, careers. You're nurturing a family by going out and making money and providing money so the family has what it needs. Or you are building shelter for people, your community. You are creating jobs. Maybe you are someone that's like a political figure or a public figure that is creating charities, communities, food banks, anything like that. So it's not just about money for yourself. That's actually not a healthy masculine archetype. It just greed for greed of its own sake. It's to help your community. And that's where I think it's missed with Capricorn, is that it's at its best when it's nurturing others, but through these different channels. So it might not be from creating food to give to people, but maybe you are able to set up a great community garden, or you're able to provide the funds to have farmers markets where farmers can get out and give their their goods and their food to people and help nourish them that way. So it's thinking different things. So we have a lot of CEOs that have Sun in Capricorn for this reason. A lot of presidents, not just political, but presidents of companies, founders. But this can extend to local communities as well. Like I said, like you can be someone who's really good at urban planning. But even just like in a family context, you might be someone that is creating a school or you're founding a school, especially if it's a program that helps to nurture other people or where they learn to then better themselves and maybe they can get more jobs or job training. These are we're thinking bigger and not just on a one-on-one scale when we have Sun and Capricorn. So it's a very interesting energy to have. So when you have these placements, that's where you can shine very strongly in helping to nurture your environment, your external factors, other people through these means that might be less personable, less maternal in a way, but it's still helpful. And fire meets earth elements. We feel that in our body. So the body might go slower. It's the tortoise versus the hare, is the Sun and Capricorn energy. I feel like the tortoise winning, going slower and taking your time, but you're the one that's most likely going to finish the across the finish line because you've taken time to nourish yourself to go at a slower, steadier pace. But that can it can be hard, especially in younger years when people have Sun in Capricorn, because the youthfulness, the impulsivity that is more natural in people under 20, especially in younger childhood, can make it more difficult to enjoy youth or connect with your peers, especially if a lot more of your peers are impulsive or energetic and you might like be more serious in nature. So this is because there's a karmic quality to Capricorn. Like I said, there is a lot of rewards that come with being Saturn ruled, but the benefit you might not see for your personality or the shine or attracting abundance in career or anything else in your life that you have goals, it might be delayed a little bit. So that's just that's the one challenge that can come from this component. So anything that's younger based, more impulsively based, something that needs more excitement, that might not be your vibe. So it could be more difficult. But leading into community, external, nurturing paths, founding companies, things like that are going to be really good for this placement. So that's what I have for today on understanding Sun and Capricorn. If you have this placement and you like to share, I'd love to hear it. So you can leave a comment, that'd be great. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm linking opportunities in the description box if you'd like to do any one-on-one coaching with astrology or share with your community to learn from each other. So that will be below. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.